Many of you would know I'm the son of a dairy farmer. My parents ran a small property outside the town of Acton on the Darling Downs. We were up early. I'd help milk the cows, then I'd ride a horse and then go to a railway siding, catch a rail motor and went to school. They were great times. I thought each week today at this time we'll bring you a story about a great Australian. Young people, older people these days don't know the history of this country. Remember I spoke earlier in the week, Tuesday, about Ashley Cooper, Slasher Mackay, Neil Fraser, Alan Davidson, Richie Benaud, Ken Rosewall, Rodney Laver. Well, add to those names people in public life, John Howard, Jim Killen, great Australians. Someone wrote to me recently to tell me a cracking yarn. Alan Garside is our oldest living Socceroo, born on November 29, 1926. Do the maths, as the young ones say. He's 93. He's sitting here right beside me. Let's go back, I have to say, because I began by saying that I'm the son of a dairy farmer. You actually were brought up on a dairy where Granville now is a suburb of Sydney.
That's right.
Hey?
That's right.
And that was the end of the train line in those days, wasn't it?
Yes.
And you began playing for Granville, Kewpies, Kewpies in the under-14s.
Yeah.
What was Western Sydney like then? No one, eh? Dirt roads.
Very good.
Very good. But dirt roads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dirt
the dairy
roads,
farm, eh? So you then joined the under-18s as a 15-year-old striker.
Yes, because there was no under-16.
There's no under-16. But as a Kewpie, you won, I think, 6 consecutive grand championships.
Yes.
Heavens above. Then you made the state side, you got into the state league, and then you were a 17-year-old, I think, and then the war hit. What do you remember about that?
Well, it was very difficult as far as work went.
You joined the Magpies, and I think in 1952, you've got to say this slowly, you played 24 games and scored 53 goals.
Yes.
24 games, 50. So the national selectors said, Alan Garside, you're in the team. I think we've got a copy of the letter here that was written to Alan when he actually made the Australian side, number 148. Can you believe it? There's the letter. There's the letter. So he played 5 matches for the Socceroos, including matches against South Africa in 1955. Then you got the leg injury.
Yes.
And that, as my old man to say, that buggered you up. So you are Granville and District Soccer's Football Association's greatest ever player. And the best part is, through it all, through everything, you're still with the local milkman.
Yes.
Now listen, I've got a surprise for you. One of the greatest soccer players Australia's ever produced is a man by the name of Mark Bosnich.
That's right.
OK, Boz, I'm not telling you where he is. Boz is here. Boz, good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Alan. Thanks for that wonderful introduction, and good evening to Alan as well.
What a story, eh?
Absolutely unbelievable. Our 3rd oldest living Socceroo, 93 years of age. And you spoke about a record that he had over a season and a bit. Overall record, now watch this, for any scorer anywhere around the world, 188 goals from 205 games. That's absolutely amazing.
Can you understand that? Boz could play, couldn't he, Bosnich?
Oh, yes.
Eh?
Yes.
It's wonderful, isn't it, though? Does soccer, does football, you call it football, I call it soccer, does it do enough to honour the history and honour those of the past? I mean, for example, what will the Football Federation of Australia do for a 93-year-old like Alan Garside?
Well, for 93-year-olds like Alan Garside and others like that, I think in the past, and I'm not talking about the recent past, but in the 10, 20 years ago, I don't think they did enough to recognise them. Slowly but surely that has changed, and that will continue to change. Now, we were very, very fortunate a couple of weeks ago to be awarded jointly with New Zealand the Women's World Cup for 2023. What a wonderful occasion that will be to honour the likes of Alan and all those others who have given so much time, effort, sweat, blood and tears, whatever you like, for the Socceroos over all those years.
Boz, have a look at that shot.
Look at that. Look. Isn't that absolutely fantastic? They were the days. Yes, they were the days.
There you are. Just while I've got you here, Boz, you were to start the A-League next week. I alluded to that earlier. Yeah. What do you think will happen?
Well, thanks to the good graces of the Berejiklian government, in particular John Barilaro, who was sent extended thanks to, and also Brad Hazard and the Health Department, the 3 teams from Melbourne have been granted at 6 o'clock tonight an exemption to enter New South Wales tomorrow. So we thank them so much. And a special mention as well for Graham Richardson, who pitched in his help as well. So hopefully, we don't know the exact details about the exemption, whether or not they'll have to quarantine, because this time next week, on Thursday the 16th of July, the first game was supposed to start between Melbourne Victory, I think it is, and Western United. So whether or not they'll have to quarantine, if they have to quarantine and are unable to play that game, then that game will have to be pushed back. But thanks to the good graces of the New South Wales government, who have done a fantastic job throughout all of this, the 3 Melbourne teams will be able to enter New South Wales by tomorrow. So thank you so much to everyone involved.
One final word to Alan. Boz, a final word from you to Alan.
Final word from me to Alan is this: it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. And also, I'd love to see more of you in the future. And there's one massive, massive question that's been asked a lot recently during all these meetings behind the scenes. A lot of people turn around and say Australian football, or Australian soccer, as Alan likes to call it, needs to have an identity. I think people like yourself should have input as to what that identity truly should be, because you are the true pioneers.
Fantastic. Well done, Boz. Alan, we've got to have the final say with you. Now, you were brought up in a dairy at Granville. How many cows?
At the most, 85.
85. And you milk them by hand?
No, we had machines.
You had the machines?
Because we had to. There was only
85.
my father and me.
Yeah? How many bales?
15.
15. We called them units. Did you call them units?
No, we call them bales.
15 bales. And you put the cups on?
Yep.
And then you had to get the milk. Who bought the milk? Did you separate the cream from the milk, or just the milk?
The milk was sold. We had our own runs.
You had the milk run?
Yeah, we had milk runs.
You were the milker, and you bottled the milk, and you gave. That's when you dropped it outside the door. People left their money, and they stole the money.
Yeah, they did, but it wasn't bottled then.
It
was
just a bucket.
No,
they came to you
in the horse and cart.
Horse
and deliver it to the jug on the front veranda.
Fantastic. So they came to you for the milk. What kind of cows, by the way?
Mixed herd.
Mixed.
Yeah.
You can't have too many jerseys because there's too much cream in the milk.
There's too much.
And you were doing all this representative soccer while you were still the milkman.
Yes.
How many customers did you have?
Oh, 400.
400.
I wasn't doing the 4.
You've got a good memory, I have to tell you. Now, look, this is not a bad story, is it? From a Granville dairy farmer's son to a Darling Downs dairy farmer's son.
Well, yeah.
Hey? It's got to be
very good.
It's got to be something in the DNA, hasn't it?
Yes.
So your health good?
Yes, good.
Lovely that you could come in.
Apart from me legs, I can't...
Well, you did too much with them on the soccer field.
No, never.
Is it a rough game? You get kicked and carry on like rugby?
But that didn't do me legs. I had a heart operation. I had 4 blocked arteries.
Oh, God. Don't fix that up. Fix that up. Listen, it's a privilege and an honour to have you here and to introduce you to an audience around Australia. Here is our oldest Socceroo at 93 years of age, Mr Alan Garside. Now, hang on. I'll give you a knighthood. Sir Alan Garside. Why not? There we are. I repeat my mate Jim Killen. Do you remember Jim Killen? And he used to say, if that's not a good story, we are in trouble. So, Alan, thank you for that.